Hey, I'm Hunter of IG Tom, and welcome to the first video in this series, Pokemon Theories. I will be doing a lot of Pokemon related videos for a while, as I've just completed the newest Pokemon game, the Ruby and Sapphire remakes, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Before this video starts, there will be a few spoilers. Well, not a few, there'll be a lot of spoilers. And if you have not played the games, I recommend you get it as soon as possible and play through that shit. It is fucking crazy. Now, getting onto the theory, the idea of a multiverse / multiple dimensions within the main Pokemon games. So from basically the main core series, so red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, ruby, sapphire, emerald, and just the main games, no spin-offs, no nothing else. This was a major part of the plot of Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, with Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina and Arceus all being placed in a dimension that relates to each Pokemon. Well, each Pokemon respectively. So Giratina would be in the distortion world, and Arceus would be in a separate dimension which only he would reside in. And Giratina is the only one with an accessible one, the distortion world, and they are mentioned within Sinnoh lore. Next thing to mention is generations 1, 2, 3, and 5 are all 2-dimensional, while generation 6 and arguably 5 is 3-dimensional. Although this is not what I meant by multiverse, we have to next look into the chronological order of the games, Generation 1 and 3. Generation 1 and 3 are set around the same time. I say this as the remakes of Red and Blue are Fire Red and Leaf Green, which are within the 3rd generation, and is almost identical to the original. Same goes for Generation 4 and 3 and 4, 2 and 4. They are so Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Diamond and Pearl are all in the same generation. So now we can just say that Generation 1, which is basically 1 and 3, are set in the same time. So we'll class that as Generation 1. And Generation 4 and 2 are classed within the same generation. So Generation 2, we'll call that. Still with me? Good. The third thing is the 5th generation is mentioned in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire via scientists working with Devon Corp, who say something along the lines of, "I'm working on a machine that can see into Pokemon dreams. My rival in the Unova region is also doing the same research. I cannot lose this race." That is not the words, word by word basically. That's just the general gist of the quote, referencing to the Dream Machine and the Dream World that are used within the 5th game and arguably a part of the main plot of the game. I haven't actually played the game in detail, so I'm not aware if it goes throughout the entire game. I know that's the main part during the beginning, but not much. I'm not sure if it is enlightened later on in the game. So there's a clear connection to the 5th generation that the 6th generation makes. While the 5th generation is compatible with the previous generation, it's not as clear as the scientists reference. But you're saying that they can still be transferred to X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but this requires Pokebank, and this could be the gate into the 3rd dimension that we can enter within the Pokemon multiverse. You probably think I'm crazy, but here are the other dimensions in chronological order. The distortion world being the 1st, the dream world being the 2nd, and the X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire world being the 3rd. The 1st required a portal, and the dream world is entered through dream, and the X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire can be accessed by Pokebank. All these are seen as gates. Pokebank bit may be a bit odd, but the way I theorize it is, without Pokebank you can't create the link between the original games and the 6th generation. So we'll class the original games as the original dimension, and the 6th generation as the new dimension. Bit confusing, as you probably wonder, why is it related to the actual theory, as what I've said is just the groundwork. Now the actual theory is, the story of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is almost similar to the original, except locations are different to the original, such as Morval City, and the characters such as Archie and Maxie's design, ideas, and dialogue is very notably different. And there are also the Mega Revolutions and Primal Revision. Those are the most obvious examples. But within the after game story, the Delta episode, which you must capture a Rayquaza to destroy the meteorite. Now there's a character called Zinnia, who is a Dragonoid, a member of an ancient tribe dating back 3,000 years. She has been given the role of calling down Rayquaza and the Mega Evolve it with the 7 keystones she has stolen from the other characters such as May or Brendan, depending on who you play as, Stephen, Archie, Wally, and the others. I can't exactly name them list wise, as I can't be bothered to check. She also destroys a tool which would shoot the meteorite into another dimension. We'll get onto that later. We'll get onto that later. Sorry, the script literally just made me repeat what I was saying. After she calls Rayquaza into a different dimension, after she calls Rayquaza down, you battle her and you get to capture Rayquaza and you Mega Evolve him, or her, or it. But in a different way, as you don't need the Mega Stone, you just make a wish. After getting the coolest looking Mega Evolution in my opinion, you then go and destroy the meteor to battle Deoxys who's within the meteorite. Now that I've completely spoiled the plot of the Delta episode and you know what's going on, the theory of the other dimension basically means that the tool that the scientists of Moss Deep Space Center used to shoot the meteorite into a different dimension was a weapon to send the space rock into another dimension, the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald dimension. This isn't instantly identified, but referenced by both the scientists and Zinnia. And Archie and Maxie may have mentioned the dimensions, but the main reference is Zinnia quotes, "The tool will send the meteor into another dimension that is just like ours." And this suggests the scientists used the tool to send the meteorite to another dimension in the 3rd generation games, as the war 3,000 years ago 3,000 years never happened. Mega Evolution and Primal version never existed, and Zinnia had not existed. Same with the Dragonoid tribe. Meaning what happened in the Delta exclusive to the 3rd dimension within the Pokemon multiverse. This may possibly relate to Hooper, a dimension traveling Pokemon, but I leave it there. So does the Pokemon universe have multiple dimensions? My theory suggests it does, and I think once you understand it, you will see where I'm coming from. Thanks for watching, and I hope you subscribe, comment, and like. Bye.